What is up, guys? This is Hyro once again, and I'm coming at you guys with another content of Cookie Run Kingdom. Today I will be making the tier list that I kind of took a little too long to make, but this is going to be the first part of my tier list, which is going to be for PVE, and it's only going to include the epic cookies that are available in the game right now, including the one ancient cookie, pure vanilla. So that's going to be the topic of this video, guys. I hope this tier list is helpful for you guys in determining which cookies are going to be worth it in your team. And obviously, like I always tell you with guides and these kind of videos, this is my opinion and you do not need to follow my advice. You guys can do what you want with your game, but I hope that this video will help you guys in your progression throughout the game. Anyways, guys, if you guys enjoy these contents, please hit that subscribe button and the like button. I am super close to 500 subscribers right now. I believe at the time of this recording is about 489 or so. So let's try to reach that 500 and I'll do another giveaway. Anyways, guys, with all that out of the way, let's get right into Alright, here we go, guys. This is going to be the tier list. I put all the rares and commons on the bottom because the only tier list that I could find online was this one, and it included all of them. I don't really know how to get rid of them, so that's gonna be it. But here we go. So the tier list is going to be for PVE or the story mode or world exploration, whichever one you guys want to call it, but this is going to be strictly for that, not including the arena, not including the guild boss battle. So it's going to go from SS tier, S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and all the way down to D tier. So really, if I just go over it real quick, SS tier is going to be just if you get it, put it into your team. S tier is a good cookie. It's a great cookie to build a team around, or even you could build a team and then you can kind of stick it in there. A tier is going to be more of a unique cookie where you need to kind of build a team around them in order for them to be really good. B tier is going to be more of situational. C and D, it's just kind of like you don't really want to invest in it too much unless you really have to. So this video is going to be really long, guys. I actually recorded this 3 to 4 times, and every time I did it, it went even like beyond 20 minutes. So I'll try to talk fast. I'll try to explain a little faster, but just keep in mind this is going to be a little long because I have a lot to say about the cookies and my reason for putting them in a certain tier. So here we go. Licorice. PVE Licorice is going to be SS or S tier. I'm going to put more up towards S tier because it's there are cookies that you can replace Licorice with, but Licorice has the Licorice servants, right? All the skills are actually going to be on the top of above me, and I have actually recorded each individual skills and their attack animation for you guys so that you guys can see how they work in the game. So like I said, Licorice is going to be a great DPS and also a tank. So this is a little situational thing. You can actually build Licorice as a defensive cookie so that you can use the Licorice servants to tank for your team, while Licorice does a little bit of damage because you will lack some extra damage from searing raspberry because you'll be putting a more of a hard walnut, so that you can use the Licorice servants as the like a tank of the team. So Licorice is really just it depends on how you want to play it. Most people I would say use Licorice for the extra servants, but still use the damage as the main portion of Licorice's main points. So that's why I'm gonna put Licorice at S tier for PVE. And then moving on to Purple Yam. Purple Yam is honestly a B or a C tier. The reason why is because it's literally a better version of Strawberry Cookie. This right here, Strawberry Cookie. Strawberry Cookie only spins in place. Purple Yam, all the extra thing is he moves forward while spinning. So it's good for crowd control. It's good for grouping the enemy together in order for you to use certain type of skill, but as a frontline cookie, it's just not that great. So I'm really just gonna put it at C tier because it's just not that great to use. If anything, I will not invest in Purple Yam if you have any of the other like SS tier, S tier, A tier, or even B tier frontline cookie available in your collection right now. So that's gonna be my point on Purple Yam. There's not really much to talk about because this skill is so straightforward. Here we go. Next one is going to be Rye Cookie. I'm putting Rye Cookie at A tier because her skill is, yes, it's very good for individual boss battles. So when there's an enemy or a boss that you need to do a lot of damage at once, Rye Cookie is great. Rye Cookie will target that enemy and deal a ton of damage at once to the enemy. But after for any stages where there's a lot of mobs or a lot of enemies that you have to deal with, then Rye Cookie kind of lacks that damage potential, because like I said, the skill only hits one enemy. And when there are better cookies, or not better cookies, but when there are cookies like Latte or Espresso who can kill all those mobs at once using just one skill, I believe it's just so much better to invest in for PVE. Keep that in mind, it's for PVE, okay? To invest in rather than investing like everything on Rye Cookie. But you got to keep in mind this is for PVE, and if you want to go into more of an overall great investment and great tier, like a tier list for all the cookies for all 3 of the modes or even 4 of the modes that we have available for right now, then it'll be a different story. But for PVE, I'm gonna put Rye Cookie at A tier. For boss stages or any stages that you require a certain enemy or even a sub boss or mini boss or a boss to die, then I would definitely put in Rye. But Rye is going to be an A tier in my list. Okay. Snow Sugar Cookie, I think that's the name, is going to be a B tier for me. It's actually it's a he or she, or the Snow Sugar Cookie is a little unique in the sense that it summons the Snow King, I think that's what it's called, and that summon, or your summon, will basically deal continuous damage. It'll kind of spit out like frostings or ice or things like that to the enemies, and it will do a continuous damage. However, it's a little bit in a sense where it's not going to do much tanking for you because it's behind your cookie. You will be able to see the skill, but I'm going to put it at B tier because he or she is actually able to do pretty decent damage if you are able to build him or her in a way where like crit or even searing raspberry, so that you can deal some damage with that summon. So that's gonna be the reason why I'm gonna put Snow Sugar at B tier. Next one is gonna be Sparkling. So here's the thing, guys, all the support or at least majority of the support that are in the game right now at an epic level is going to actually be in about a B tier. The reason why is because they're going to do healing and they're also going to be giving you a buff. So it's not fair for them to be placed lower, and it's a little hard to place them a little higher, except for one exception later on that I'll mention. But for Sparkling Cookie, it's going to give you 20% crit chance, and then it's going to heal only 2 of your cookies. So that's the reason why it's a little bit hard to use Sparkling Cookie, and it's going to be in a team where you're just trying to do a lot more crit. So you're trying to get to that either like 100% crit chance with Juicy Apple topping, and then with the Scythe and the Sparkling Cookies buff. So that's going to be the reason why I'm going to be putting Sparkling Cookie at B tier. It's a more of a situational and a team-oriented cookie, so you have to really build around that crit. So that's going to be the reason why I'm going to put Sparkling at B. Next one is going to be Strawberry Crepe. Honestly, in my opinion, Strawberry Crepe is going to be SS. The reason why is because that if you more and more as you progress throughout the story and the higher stages you go, damage that you receive from these enemies are insane. Like, you have to realize that without Strawberry Crepe's buff, of taking 50% less damage, and basically it's more like giving a 50% damage resist to your 2 of the lowest HP cookie, right? So there are enemies that will focus your backline, and without Strawberry Crepe, before your healers can actually heal your cookies, they will die. So Strawberry Crepe does extremely well in making those cookies survive, for them to really kill those enemies before your team gets wiped out. So Strawberry Crepe is going to be an SS tier for PVE, in my opinion. Not only that, he does, you know, decent amount of damage, and also has a knockback effect in his skill, and it really attacks majority of the lane except maybe like the furthest back. But you know, as a defensive cookie, it's a really good cookie to invest in. Alright, next one is gonna be Tiger Lily. Tiger Lily is going to be at an S or an A tier depending on where you want to put her. The reason why is because she actually stuns, and at a time when she's in her tiger form, or where she rides the tiger, she actually doesn't take physical damage on herself until the thing runs out, because she's riding the tiger, and she will do AoE damage while she's riding the tiger, and will be stunning when she first procs the skill. So she's actually really good in helping your team survive, and one of the few cookies that will actually stun the enemies with the skills. So if anything, it'll be S or A. I'm just gonna be putting at an A because there are I think there are better cookies out there rather than Tiger Lily, even though she has that stun in her kit. But you know, give or take, S or A really. But I'm just gonna be putting at an A for now. All right, next one is going to be Kumio. Kumio, in my opinion, is gonna be B. Her gimmick is that she has a charm, so she's actually able to stop the then I guess it's fair to put at A, because it kind of works a very similar way as Tiger Lily, except instead of a stun, it's a charm, so it actually prevents the enemies from attacking you for a certain amount of time. So she will be in her Kumio or fox form as she enters the stage, and then when her skill procs, she'll turn into this form right now that you are seeing in the nine-tail form, in a human form, and then we'll charm the enemies and we'll stop them from attacking or moving. So that is actually a really good cookie in a way. But the thing is, now you got to keep in mind that she is a frontliner. She is going to take a lot of damage if you do not have good healers or toppings that will help her survive. So that's the one reason why she cannot be in S or SS tier, or even I'm kind of iffy on A or A tier, but because of her gimmick that she has, I'm gonna give her A tier for that. Vampire is going to be an S/A tier in my opinion. I cannot give Vampire SS tier because, like Rye Cookie, he only hits one enemy, and for mini boss stages and boss stages, Vampire would be in an SS tier because, you know, it will help you kill the boss super quickly. But in a stage, like I said, where there are more mobs, Vampire Cookie has a little bit of a struggle dealing with them. However, you got to keep in mind that if he's actually able to kill the enemy before, you know, they can attack, then yes, it will help your team survive because there's one less enemy to deal with. But if you haven't invested in Vampire Cookie, then it's gonna be a little hard to do that much damage. So Vampire Cookie will disappear during the time of his skill, and then we'll leave a little vampire or a little blood vat, and then the bat will deal a ton of damage to that enemy that it's attached to, and will also heal Vampire Cookie. So that's his gimmick, and he honestly is a really good cookie. And if I had to say, you know, for overall, invest in him. He's worth investing in. Okay, next gonna be Werewolf Cookie. Werewolf, in my opinion, has to be B. The reason why is, one, is a charge cookie, and two, it needs to transform in order to do something. Without his transformation, he's really weak, and he won't do anything really, because he needs to transform in order to have the buffs that he receives, and also he needs to transform in order to do AoE damage, or basically swiping to deal more damage to multiple enemies. Excuse me. You'll see that in the video on top, but that's the whole gimmick of Werewolf, another transformation character like Kumio, except he doesn't do charming or anything like that while he is in the werewolf form. He just does a lot of damage, or he just, yeah, he kind of does more damage than he normally would do. And so that would be the place I would put where is it? Werewolf Cookie. Next one is gonna be Herb Cookie. Herb Cookie is going to be our second SS tier cookie for PVE. Best healer out there, except for Pure Vanilla. Pure Vanilla actually is an ancient cookie, so you gotta keep that in mind. And a lot of the free-to-play players were not able to pull for Pure Vanilla during the Nether Gacha because you know, they couldn't get all the Light of Truth to pull 250 times, 50 times for the pity, or even like some of them just were not lucky enough to pull it at a certain, you know, number of pulls that were available to the players. Or even if you're watching this video now, then that means you are a new player and you would have missed the event. That means that you probably have a very low chance of getting Pure Vanilla currently. So Herb Cookie is going to be your best epic healer. So his gimmick is he's going to do healing at the time of his skill proccing, and then will purify your team of any debuff that they have received. That includes stuns, that includes you know, debuffs like crit debuff, defense debuff, or damage resist debuff, and things like that are going to be you know, purified. And then he'll also actually heal over time as well, for a certain amount of seconds. So he's actually a really good cookie, of probably the best healer right after Pure Vanilla. So if you are looking for a main healer, then definitely go for Herb Cookie if you have him in your collection right now. Alright, next one is going to be Pastry Cookie. I have to put Pastry Cookie in A tier, even though I want to put her as S tier. The reason why is because Pastry Cookie is really hard to use by herself. Yes, she is a good cookie as where she's able to hit up to 5 different enemies, but without her attack speed buff that she gets using her skill, she's actually a really weak cookie. And the reason why, you know, I might get a little bit of hate for this, but a lot of the top players, or even some of the YouTubers that I see, they put like Pastry at like C, D, or even like a, you know, F tier if it exists. The reason why is because she had a really bad timing of when she was released into the game, because there were already so many better AoE damage dealing cookie, so AoE DPS cookies like Espresso and Latte, that those players who have started the game before Pastry came out would have already invested a ton into those those cookies. So it's a little hard to replace them for Pastry Cookie, or replace some of the other cookies that, you know, they have already invested in for a cookie that really has no special effect except for being able to hit 5 different enemies. So that is the reason why a lot of people actually don't recommend using her. But in my opinion, if you first started and you were able to pull for Pastry Cookie, because the banner is out right now along with Red Velvet, then, you know, Pastry Cookie is not bad. She's actually really good in clearing mobs in PVE, and that's why I want to rate her at A tier. But she does require a lot of attention, a lot of investment, and also you know, certain cookies that she is going to need in order to kind of you know, bring her potential up to the level where you really want her to be. So that's going to be the reason why I'm gonna put Pastry Cookie at A tier. Okay. Next one is going to be Milk Cookie. Milk Cookie is going to be at A tier. The reason why is because he I believe is the only cookie that has taunt in the game, or not in the game, but epic cookie that has a taunt. So he's able to smash his shield onto the enemies and taunt the taunt them to in attacking him while taking less damage during the time that skill is activated. So in PVE, it's actually a really good skill, and it will help your team survive. But however, in a higher stages, the taunt will actually get him killed really easily. So it's hard to really put him into the team and make him work unless you really invest your resources and toppings into building Milk Cookie as a super tank. So however, but the earlier on stages, Milk Cookie will serve as a great defensive cookie frontliner. So if you are to use him, then I would say get him up to maybe level 30, and then try to roll for either Strawberry Crepe or Dark Choco that I'll explain later, and replace Milk Cookie with them later on. Anyways, next one is going to be Cream Puff. Cream Puff is going to be at D tier. The reason why is because Cream Puff doesn't do anything well. She heals, she damages, but it's just not worth it. It's not worth investing in to a point where you will never really use her in PvE or even in any of the other stages, really, because the heal is mediocre and damage is mediocre. Overall stat is really low as well, so it's really, Cream Puff is just a collector's cookie for all those players, you know, who were lucky enough to pull for Cream Puff in the guild gacha. So I don't think there's more to say. Actually, I was not lucky enough to pull her, so I don't have a video of her. Maybe I can try to find it. If I don't, then you're not gonna see a attack on animation or anything like that. Yeah, so that's gonna be it. Almond Cookie is gonna be actually at a B tier for PvE, because his skill is very unique, but it really requires some, you know, really like big damage dealers to do much. But the thing is, I tried Almond Cookie out in certain stages, and even with the skill activated, it does not work the same as you see in arena, guys. It really doesn't work the same way as you will see in arena, because the HP and the defense of the enemies in story mode is actually ridiculous, and it's really hard to figure out their actual stats. So Almond Cookie in story mode is, you know, it's just gonna be at B tier for me, even though I have him at 4 stars, level 40. You know, it's not worth really using in a story mode or world exploration. So next one is gonna be Black Raisin. Black Raisin is going to be at S/SS tier, so it's gonna bounce back and forth here depending on how you want to use Black Raisin. The reason why I don't really want to put her as an SS tier is because of the way her skill works. So her skill as an assassin cookie will deal a lot of damage to the front line of the enemy. However, if the enemies are either pushed back from where they were while Black Raisin was using her skill, then her skill will miss completely and will deal no damage. So if you were to maybe play in auto mode and you have Black Raisin and Strawberry Crepe in the same team, then Strawberry Crepe might accidentally push the enemy away from Black Raisin's skill, and her skill will be completely useless. It won't be much of a problem when you're not playing in auto, but if you're playing in auto and you like to enjoy the game in auto, then Black Raisin is going to be a little tricky to use depending on what team comp you have. So Black Raisin, however, is going to be a great cookie to invest in, and you really could stick her into any team to deal a ton of AoE damage while you are playing the game. So I'll be putting Black Raisin as an SS tier for me. Alright, next one is going to be Chili Pepper. Chili Pepper, C or D tier. You pick wherever you want to put it. I'm just going to put it at C tier because she actually can do more than Cream Puff. So Chili Pepper's skill, you guys should all know, because everybody should have Chili Pepper Cookie, because that's the first epic you are going to be receiving or pulling in the gacha when you start the game. As an assassin character or assassin cookie, she's going to be attacking the back line and will be doing about 3 to 4 slashes to the back enemies. However, the damage is really low, her overall stat is really low, and the other assassin cookies just outplay her completely. So do not invest too much into her unless you really have to and you're very unlucky in pulling for any of the other assassin or even mage cookies, so or even other DPSs. So I'm gonna be putting chili pepper at C tier. Next one is gonna be Fig Cookie. Fig Cookie is C or D. You pick and choose as well. I'm gonna be putting it at C because she's not completely useless. She has, I think it's a she or he. Fig Cookie has the debuff of attack for 20%, minus 20% attack of the enemies that are hit by Fig Cookie's skill. So it's not completely useless. However, you gotta realize there was no rate up banner for Fig Cookie, and the event is ridiculously stupid. Sometimes you get super good luck, sometimes you get stupid luck like me. If you saw my video where I spent 1,200 horns and I got 1 copy of Fig Cookie, and that is like insane, guys. You gotta realize that when you do the event daily, at a certain point, like just the minimum, you'll get about 1,000, or you'll get about I don't know how much they said, but it's not enough to pull 2 boards completely, if I remember correctly, and the event is about to be over soon. So Fig Cookie, C tier. You probably won't see Fig Cookie in much of any team. Maybe you'll see it in a very low level arena. I personally haven't seen Fig Cookie in action yet, except in some of the reviews that I've done and other YouTubers. Latte is going to be at an SS tier, my personal favorite, but you gotta realize Latte has a silence when her skill procs, and also she'll suck in the enemies into the center of her skill, and also will be dealing damage over time. And she is an AoE DPS that it will be worth investing in. So she, if is 5 stars for me, 5-star promotion, and then also level 50, and she literally does the most damage out of my team, whether even before she was 5 stars. So she's just a great cookie to invest in and use. She will help you out a ton throughout the story mode, so I would invest in her. Her attack is ridiculously high as well. Okay, next one is going to be Red Velvet. Red Velvet is the newest cookie that was added into the game. In my opinion, in PVE, he's more of an A tier. The reason why is because he is a charge cookie and he has a stun, but you gotta realize the stun is a 20-second cooldown skill. On top of that, it only stuns 1 enemy, so it's the same thing like Rye Cookie, Vampire Cookie. It only targets 1 individual enemy, and yes, it will help in it's gonna help in dealing with some of the enemies out there, especially like the boss. However, it will not really help when there are a ton of enemies to deal with, and even that 5-second stun may not be enough time for you to completely kill that enemy that the Red Velvet pulled. So he's going to be at an A tier for me. I personally use him, so don't think that I'm giving a low tier because I don't, lower tier than he might be in some other people's tier list, because I don't use him. No, I do use him in my team, and I actually use him in multiple teams that I have in different modes as well. So I have experience with him. I have tested him out in different ways and different toppings, and in my opinion, I'm gonna have to put him at A tier for PVE or World Exploration mode. Alright, next one is gonna be Pure Vanilla. Pure Vanilla, no doubt, is going to be an SS tier. The best healer in the game so far, no doubt about it. Not only does he heal a ton of healing at once when the skill procs, it's going to actually shield all of your cookies for 20% of their maximum HP. So you gotta realize that this shield will actually help your cookie survive nukes, because it will soak up that damage and just get rid of the shield instead of taking that damage completely. So it really helps in surviving a lot of these enemies when it comes to world exploration mode. And pure vanilla, just in general, just the overall stat is a lot higher as an ancient cookie. So there we go. Espresso is going to be at an SS tier for me, really, because he is the other AoE damage dealer that really even the beginning players would have had, because his banner was actually one of the first banners that came out, and just overall damage is ridiculous. He's a nuker, and if you have him in your team, you're gonna have a really easy time in dealing with a large mob, and you gotta realize the Espresso's skill is going to suck the enemy into the middle, just like how Latte does it, except it's a lot faster, and it will actually explode and push them away from each other as well. So there's that gimmick with Espresso Cookie. So I'm going to be putting Espresso at SS tier for me as well, for the PVE tier list. And the next one is going to be Dark Choco. Dark Choco is going to be another SS tier, guys. The reason why is because Dark Choco is the only debuffing cookie that is also a charge cookie that can do a pretty good tanking. The debuff actually is going to be 20% damage resist debuff, so that means the enemies will be taking more damage. I can't really say 20% because you gotta do 20% of their damage resistance. So Dark Choco is going to be great in PvE mode, in dealing with large mobs with high defense resistance, and it's hard to kill in the game. So that is going to be my tier list for Dark Choco. You just gotta realize Dark Choco is a great cookie to use, and in my opinion, one of the best cookies out there currently in the game, even though he came out way before some of these cookies. Alright, anyways, next one is going to be Poison Mushroom. Poison Mushroom is going to be a C tier for me. The reason why is because Poison Mushroom is the only bomber in the game, or an epic bomber in the game, but his skill is a little tricky, I guess, to use, because you gotta put the bombs out in the field. It needs to explode while the enemies are near the bombs, and then it deals overall damage or damage over time, and it's just, in my opinion, just not worth investing in too much for PvE. There are just better cookies like Black Raisin, Licorice, Latte, Espresso, Pastry, and just there's just better cookies to invest in. So that's my ranking for Poison Mushroom Cookie. And then next one is going to be Madeline. Madeline is going to be at B tier for me. The reason why is because he has a damage immunity for 10 seconds, and for his skill, he's going to be actually knocking back enemies. However, you got to realize that the damage resist doesn't mean he is taunting an enemy. So that means if there are enemies that are attacking your backline, Madeline Cookie's damage immunity doesn't do anything for your team. So in my opinion, if Madeline Cookie had the taunt effect just like Milk Cookie, no doubt about it, Madeline Cookie will be at SS tier. Because I mean, you gotta realize that'll be broken, right? That'll be busted, and everybody will be using Madeline. But Madeline's overall stat as a defense cookie is not that good, especially in the attack stat. So his knockback is good in a sense where it buys you time to use skills. However, there are just better frontline cookies to use in the game right now. Alright, next one is going to be Pomegranate. Pomegranate is going to be at an S/A tier, the only support that I would say you need to really invest in for even PvE and other modes as well. The reason why is because she is the only support and a buffer that's going to increase your overall damage. So not crit, not other stats, but it's going to increase your attack. So Pomegranate is actually also a healer and will heal your entire team, and also will be doing that buff for your entire team. So in my opinion, Pomegranate is going to be an A tier. And the last cookie right here, guys, is going to be Ninchoko. Ninchoko is going to be at a B tier along with Sparkling Cookie here as a support, who is going to be increasing attack speed and will be healing your team. However, like I said, it's a little hard to put into all of the teams because not everybody needs that attack speed. The only one that going to work really well is going to be either Rye Cookie with her attack speed buff from her skill, and also Pastry Cookie, who really needs that attack speed to do the maximum potential damage that she can do. So Ninchoko is a very situational and team oriented cookie that you need to kind of build around that attack speed buff. So anyways, guys, this is going to be it for me. Thanks for watching. If you guys were able to survive all the way to this 34 or 35 minutes of this recording. Anyways, guys, thank you for your continuous support. And then also, if you guys have any suggestions or any comments that you guys had while you were watching the video, please leave it down in the comment below, and then I can kind of see where you are, where your points come from, and then I could explain my points more clearly. And obviously, like I said, this is my opinion as well. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching once again. If you guys enjoyed this content, please hit that subscribe button and like button, and leave a comment down below for anything that you guys have questions about or anything you guys want to say about this tier list. And with all that out of the way, guys, I will see you guys next time.